Okay, so today we will understand basically how we can load the data from Azure. We already have done with AWS. Now today we will be doing with Azure. Okay, so let's start. One second. Okay, so for that you have to open your Azure free trial account. Okay, so you have to go to the Google, write the Azure free trial account. So you will get the link like how you have opened the account with AWS. The similar way you have to provide all your information like email address, phone number, address, credit card details, all those details you have to provide, and you will be able to open your free account. Okay, so if you are not opening the paid account, they will not deduct any charges from your card. So that card will be taken only for validating your identity. Okay, so you have to open the free Azure account, and after that you have to start practicing this one. Okay, so whenever you will be logging into the Azure portal, you will be reaching to this page, and first what you have to do, you have to click on the plus resource sign. So here we have a plus create a resource option. So we'll go to here. Here you have to write storage account. Okay, storage account, and you will be getting this storage account option here. So we'll come down, and this is the storage account option. You can say this one is the storage account. We'll click on the create option. We'll go for storage accounts. Okay, like in AWS we created bucket. Similarly here we have to create the storage account. Okay, before creation of the storage account you have to create a resource group. Okay, so here you can see in the subscription it is showing free trial subscription. So that means not charging you anything, just free trial it is. Okay, now resource group here you have to, if you have any resource group that you have to select, but if you open a new account there will not be a resource group, so you have to create a new one. Resource group is nothing but whenever you will be creating the storage account will be created inside a resource group. So whatever resources you create in Azure, those will be created inside the resource group. So resource group will be nothing like all your resources will be grouped together into a single unit, and that is what we call resource group. Okay, so for an example, let's say I'm providing the name here. Any name you can take. For an example, Snowflake GRP 630, like that. I'm taking one name. Okay, so this is the resource group. Okay, now after that you have to take the storage account name. Remember, the storage account name should be unique, globe wise. Like our Gmail address, whatever email address I can take, you cannot take. Similarly, vice versa. So similar way, the storage account name also. If any storage account name I am writing here, which is already taken by anyone, that will not be working. For an example, let's say I'm taking this one. So you can see here, the name must be unique across all existing storage account names in Azure. It must be 3 to 24 longs and like that. So it should be unique. So I have taken a name. Now after the region, you can select as per your requirement, like whatever region you want. I'm just selecting this one. Performance, always we will be selecting standard, because premium performance we select whenever we basically load the file for the storage purpose. Like standard performance is recommended for most of the scenarios. This standard performance we will be selecting whenever we access the file frequently. So basically whatever file we will be loading here in the storage, so that file we will be accessing through the Snowflake. That's the reason we will be selecting this standard, basically standard performance. But premium we will be using whenever we have a low latency requirement. Okay. After the redundancy option is there. So redundancy, we will be a lot of redundancy options are there, like locally, geo zone. We will be choosing locally redundant storage. This redundancy is nothing but like whenever you will be loading a file, like we will be creating a storage account that will be replicated, or that will be basically created three copies inside the different region, different basically data center. So Azure will be automatically creates the three copy of your data, and that is what we call redundancy. Basically, if any file corrupted or any file problem, then parallelly another file will be there as a backup. So you don't need to worry about anything. Like Azure will be created this redundancy. Just you have to choose which type of redundancy you want. Local redundant means in the same region it will be created three copies. I'll show you what is the three type of redundancy. You can see if you go to the Google and if you check, this is the redundancy, Azure redundancy storage. Now if you click on it, you can see these are all the basically redundancy. Now if you come down, you can see this is the locally redundant storage, and locally redundant storage creates the three copy within the same data center within the same region. Okay. Now next, if you go here, zone redundant storage creates the three copy into three different data center. One copy into available zone 1, this is into the zone 2 in the same region. Zone 1, zone 2, that means in the same region, three different data center. It creates one copy of your storage account. That is what it is do. If you go to the basically in the geo redundant storage, you can see three copy it creates in the primary region, three copy it creates in the secondary region. So these are all it will do automatically. We don't need to worry. So just we have to select which one you want to choose. So locally redundant storage will be good for us because we are just practicing here. So we'll be choosing the locally redundant storage. So it is cheap also. So it will be created inside the same region. Three copies will be created. That's it. Okay. Now after that, you have to go to the next. So here we are not changing anything as of now. Whatever it is there, we are keeping. And you can see encryption types are, we are keeping Microsoft managed keys only. Like in AWS also we have done with the AWS managed keys. So similarly here also we are doing Microsoft managed keys. So it will be encrypting your files, and it will be safe. It will make it safe, like no external interaction will be there. Next. So it is reviewing your data. So validating in progress. So let it review. Started the recording, right? So you can see validation is complete. Now we can go for the create option. Okay. Now you can see initializing deployment. So it will take some time. So let me go to the Snowflake, and first I will be creating the student table where I will be loading the data, semi-structured, structured, everything, every data you can load. So first I will create the table. Before creation of the table, I need to create the database as well because no database are available. So let me create the database. So create database, let's say demo_db. I'm just creating one database called demo_db. And in that database, what I'll do, I'll create a table here. Okay, so let me create the table. So the student table got created. Right now, no data is there in the table. So you can see the deployment isn't completed. Your storage account got created. You can go to resource, click on the go to resource. You will be reaching to your storage account. Otherwise, you can go to home. If you go to home, here you can see this is the storage group that is created, resource group. And this is what you call it as a storage account. We will always click on the storage account. Okay. Resource group is nothing but if you go to the group, you will be getting the storage account inside the group. That is what the scenario. You can see this is the storage account that has created inside the resource group. So resource group is nothing but whatever resources you will be creating in Azure, those will be combining or those will be created inside the resource group. So that is the reason resource group created. But I don't have to do anything with the resource group. I will be click on the storage account. Okay, so let's click on the storage account here. So you will be reaching to the storage account here. Now on the right side, on the left hand side, lot of things are there, and all we will be working on this left part only. So first of all, in the left side, you have a data storage containers option. You can see here containers. We will click on the containers. And we will click on the plus container sign. And here we will be writing the container name. Let's say my container name is files. So I'll go to create this container. So once the container is created, I will click on the container. I will go inside it. I will upload my files here. So let me upload. So first of all, whenever I'll upload my file, I'll click on the browse option. So here you have the load option. Now if you go here, let me select student.csv, student v1, student error, all the files I am taking here, and it will be loaded here. And let me upload those files. So you can see all the files I uploaded here. Okay. Now that is what I want to do. I have uploaded all the files into the files folder. It is not folder. We can call it as a container. Okay. So in that container, we have uploaded these 3 files. Okay. Now again, I'll go to the home. I will go to the storage account. This is the storage account. Okay. Now I'll go to the Snowflake. Here, what I need to do, I need to create the storage integration object. So as you know, this is not a new step. Storage integration object we created in case of AWS also. So what we need to do, by using storage integration object, we will be setting up the connection between the Snowflake and the Azure account. So create or replace storage integration as Azure underscore int, type is equal to external stage, storage provider is equal to Azure. So in case of Snowflake, in case of AWS, we have written here S3. Now here we are writing Azure. Enabled is equal to true, Azure tenant ID and Azure allowed, storage allowed location. These two we need to mention. Azure tenant ID. Where I will get this Azure tenant ID? We will go to the Azure account. We'll go to home. Okay. And here we will write you can see we will write here Azure Active Directory. We will write here Azure Active Directory. So whenever we will be typing here, you will get Microsoft Entra ID. This option you will be getting in this search box. You have to write. Okay, whenever you will write the Azure Active Directory in the search box, you will be getting this option Microsoft Entra ID. We will click on this Microsoft Entra ID. In that Microsoft Entra ID, we have the default directory option, and here you will be getting this tenant ID. Okay, so we will copy this string from here. This symbol, if you click, it will be copied. So it is copied. Now I'll go here and we will paste this Azure tenant ID here. Okay. Now storage allowed location. Storage allowed location, the URL will be started with Azure : /. Here you have to mention the storage account name. So first, click on the storage account. This is the storage account name. Storage account name. We will copy the storage account name. And you can see Azure : /. If you are working with Azure, our URL will start with Azure : /. In case of AWS, URL start with S3 : /. Now in case of Azure, it will start with Azure : /. Okay. Azure : /. Then you have to mention here your storage account name. After that, blob.code.windows.net, this part will be as it is, then slash, then your container name. My container name is files. I mentioned that container name. Okay. So first part will be your storage account name. Last part will be your container name. That's it. Okay. Now after that, you have to create the storage integration. It is, oh my God. So I will be basically, so let's create it. So you can see the storage integration, storage integration has been created. Okay. Now, once the storage integration has been created, after that we will write here describe storage integration Azure underscore int. So what I will write here, let me. So once the storage integration object created in the last AWS session, also we did the same thing. We will write here DESC describing storage integration Azure underscore int. Once I click on it, I will be getting a couple of basically properties values we will be receiving here. So among those property values, you can see like enable storage provider, storage around location. These are all property values already has provided while we created the storage integration object. Now you can see here tenant ID and all those things we provided. But this line number 6 and line number 7 has been created by Snowflake. One is Azure consent URL, one is Azure multi-tenant app name. One is Azure consent URL, line number 6 and line number 7. Remaining we already have provided while creating the storage integration object. Now only line number 6. For your case also it will be line number 6 whenever you will be practicing. So you just remember two property. One is Azure consent URL. Another one is Azure multi-tenant app name. These two property that we created, that Snowflake has created just now. One is Azure consent URL, another one is Azure multi-tenant app name. First of all, we will go to the Azure consent URL, and you can see here in the property value, we have provided one URL. So first I will copy that URL from here in the property value, whatever URL has been provided, we'll go to the new browser, we'll paste it here. Once we paste, it will ask you for the consent. Okay, it is asking for the consent. We will click on this checkbox and we will accept it. Once you accept, it will be giving you the permission and it will be reached to a Snowflake page. So once it reaches to this page, that means it's done. Now next is basically, next one is this one. That means that your Azure consent URL is done. Now this one, Azure multi-tenant app name. We will come here and we will copy this part. Before underscore, whatever part is there, that part we will be copying. Okay. So we will be copying first part of the string. Whatever value is there, the first part we will be copying. Okay. Let's copy that part. And once the part has been copied, we'll go to the Azure. Again, I'm showing, we'll go to the home, we'll click on the storage account. Okay. Once the storage account has been clicked, we have a IAM option here, access control, IAM. We'll click on the IAM. Okay, we'll click on the IAM here. We'll click on the plus add sign. Okay, we'll go to the IAM. We'll click on the plus add sign, plus add role assignment. Again, I'm repeating. So these are all very important. Again, I'm repeating. What you will doing, whenever you have write the describing storage integration Azure underscore int, you will be getting this value. The value is nothing but this one, Azure multi-tenant app name. From this value, from this property value, you have to copy the first part. Okay, first part you have to copy this one. You have to copy this one. Okay. Once you copy this one, you have to come to the basically this Azure option, and in the left hand side, in the storage account left hand side, you have the access control IAM. You have to go to the role assignment. You have to click on the plus add sign, add role assignment. Click on it. From here, you have to choose blob storage data contributor. Blob. If you click on the, if you write blob in the search box, you will be getting storage blob data contributor. We'll click on it. We'll go to the next. Here you have to click on the select members. In the select members, you have to paste whatever you have copied from Snowflake site. That means what you copied this first part, right? So that part you will be copying. So you automatically on the same name, one app will be appearing. You have to select that app and you have to select here. After that, next, review and assign. So you can see the role has been added. Once the role has been added, then done. Now after that, you have to create your file format. Let me create. So whatever files you are loading, according to that, you will be creating the file format. If you are loading the basically CSV, you will be creating the CSV file format. If you are loading the JSON Parquet, so you will be creating the that type of format. So let me create the file format here. Once the file format got created, then we need to create the stage object. So create or replace stage name. Storage integration, we already created Azure underscore int. URL will be Azure:/. This one will be your storage account name, as I told you. So I'll copy this part from here, the storage account name. We'll come down, we'll paste it here, the storage account name. Then blob.code.windows.net will be as it is. And this one will be my container name. So my container name is files. So you can go and check. If you go to the container section, my container name is files, where we have all those files available. So I will be writing the files here. After that, you have to provide the file format name, and I will be creating this storage integration object. So let's click on it. Stage object we will be creating. So let's click on it. We created the stage. Now if you go to the DemoDB database, if you go to the schema, you can see here table, stage, and file format. All the three objects got created. Now once it is created, after that you can see here, we will write here list @ click on it, and you can see here you will be able to see the files available in the stage environment. Now after that, simple thing you have to do, you have to run the copy statement. That's it. So if you run the copy statement, the files will be loaded. So that is not important, because we already have learned how to copy the data. Just for an example, I'm just running this copy statement. So process is same how we do with the AWS, but the setup is different. Like how you set up the AWS account and how we set up the Azure account, that is different. Apart from that, copy statement will be using for data loading. The steps will be also same, like creation of the storage integration object, then creation of the file format, then creation of the basically stage. These steps will be same, but how to create and what are all the steps we need to follow, that we have to practice. So if I run the copy statement, so it will be okay. It is asking for the virtual warehouse. Let me select. Okay, right now no virtual warehouses are there. I'll be creating one virtual warehouse here. So let me run the copy statement. So once the copy statement executed, you will be able to see that data has been loaded. One data got partially loaded because that file is having error, and remainings are completely loaded. Because why partially loaded? Because we use the on error is equal to continue. Now simple thing here, as you know, the validate function will be utilized to find out the error. If you go right here last, so simply you will be getting that error list here. All the errors whatever you receive, all will be listed down here. Why we so validate function we already have seen in the AWS. So validate function will be utilized to find out your error, that whatever error you got in the runtime, those will be listed down here. Okay, and last underscore last will be basically taking you the last or latest executed copy statements query ID. So that is the reason you are taking last. Otherwise, you can go to the query history and you copy history or query history, and you can find out the copy statements query ID, and that you can paste here. So that also you can do. So this is the normal way of data loading. Okay, like manual way of data loading. Now, same way we will be writing, we will be doing with the basically Snowpipe implementation with Azure also. So to do that, what I need to do here, basically, first I will be creating one database called Snow Azure DB. Just simply, I'm creating the database. After the same way, we are creating the student table. Let me create the table. Now, in this table, I will be loading the data automatically by using Snowpipe. So now we will be describing Snowpipe here. So to do that, first I will go to the storage account. Here we created one container file. So I'm going to create another container. Let's say here I'm writing the container name as a pipe. Okay. Just to write the container name. So let's say this pipe container got created. So my motivation is whatever files will be loaded into the pipe folder, that will be loaded automatically to that table. So we don't need to do anything. It will be loaded automatically to the table. That is what the reason I created the pipe folder. Okay. Now next is I created the student table probably. Let me see. Yeah, the student table got created. Now next step is we need to create a notification integration. Why we need the notification integration? Because we will be working with queue storage here. So you remember that in case of AWS, we use the SQS queue and SQS queue notification channel. That you remember, if you remember the AWS data loading, you must remember that there was a step whenever we created the pipe, we got one notification channel. By using that notification channel, what will happen? The notification message will send to the Snowflake from the AWS. The similar way, we need to do the setup here also. Here it is different. Here we will be creating the queues object. Queues is nothing but the message services. Through the queues, there we use the SQS queue. Here we will be using the queue storage. So through the queue storage, the message will be basically received by the Snowflake, and in that case, basically we need to create the notification integration, because we want to get the notification from the Azure through the queue services. That is the reason we need to create with the notification integration. Okay. Here we are not creating the storage integration, we will be creating the notification integration. Okay. So if you want to know about the queues and all, you can read it. Queue in Azure. So if you read here, so you will be getting, you can see Azure queue storage is a service for storing large number of messages. It's the message services. So basically from storage account, the queues component, the messages will be basically it's a services that will be storing larger number of messages. And also if you click here, notification integration in Azure in Snowflake, so you will be getting why notification integration works. You can see create a new notification integration in the account replaces the, okay, a notification integration in Snowflake is an object that provides the interface between Snowflake and third-party messaging service. Because we are working with the messaging service in Azure, because queues is the messaging service from the Azure, and to integrate with the messaging service of other third-party vendor, we need the notification integration, and that is the reason we are creating the notification integration. You can see this is the queuing services. That's the reason we are creating the notification integration. Okay, so that you have to understand. Okay, now we will, before creation of the notification integration, what we will do here, we will come to the data storage in the Azure basically storage account. On the left hand side we have the data storage where the containers was there. In below that we have the queues option. We'll click on the queues, we'll click on the plus queue option, and we'll write here Snow. Just I'm writing the name, any name you can mention here. I'm just giving Snow queue, and after that we'll click on the OK button. So Snow queue, this is the queue has been created. Now after that you can see there is an URL which has created here. Okay, so that URL we will be copying. So that URL we need to copy. Let me copy the URL. Once the URL got copied, now I'll come to the notification, create notification integration, int underscore snowpipe, enable true, type is equal to queue, notification provider Azure storage queue. After that, Azure storage queue primary URI, here we will be pasting the URL. You don't need to remember this entire statement. You can get it in Google, and you can, while you will be working, you can get it in Google and you can do if you are working for your organization. For practicing purpose, I will be sharing this code so you can practice, but no need to remember all those terms. So just see where we need to write what. So that's enough. So create notification integration int underscore snowpipe, enable true, type is equal to queue, because we are integrating through the queue services. That's the reason. So notification provider, who is providing Azure storage queue, so that will provide the notification. Azure storage queue primary URL, so that URL whatever we copied while created the queue, so that URL we copied, we will be pasting here. And along with that, we need to get the Azure tenant ID. So for Azure tenant ID, again, we need to go to the home. We have to click on the Microsoft Entra ID, and there we will be getting the tenant ID. So we need to copy that and come here and paste it. Okay, this is the Azure tenant ID, and let me execute. So again, it is insufficient privilege. Why? Because this is the account admin's activity in creating the integration object. So let me click on it and create it. So you can see notification integration got created. Once the notification integration created, we will be writing here DESC. Again, the same process. DESC notification integration int underscore snowpipe. Let's click on it. We will be getting all those options. Now, again, the consent, Azure consent URL and Azure multi-tenant app name. These two options is there. We'll go to the Azure consent URL. We'll copy the URL from here, and we will be pasting to the browser. So let me paste. After that, what you have to do, you have to give the consent here, and we'll go to the accept option. So you provided the consent, you reach to this page. Now after that, we'll go to the again to the home. Okay, again with the storage account. Fine. Next, what I need to do, I need to go to the next one. Basically, Azure multi-tenant app name. Here again, the first part you have to copy. So let me copy the first part. Now where I will go to the Azure, and on the left hand side we have the access control IAM. We'll click on it, access control IAM. We'll go to role assignment, where already we have assigned one role in the last time. Now another role we will be assigning here. That role was for the blob storage data contributor. If you come down, you can see this is storage blob data contributor. But now we are not doing with the basically same way. We are copying the add. We will go to the add role assignment. Last time, whenever we are doing the manual data loading, we are choosing here blob data contributor. Now here we will be choosing queue storage queue data contributor, because this time we are loading through the queue. So that's the reason we will be choosing here storage queue data contributor. In case of Snowpipe, we will be choosing storage queue data contributor. Whenever we are doing manual data loading, or whenever we are setting up all the things through the procedure, we will be using the storage blob data contributor. But whenever you are implementing Snowpipe, we will be choosing here storage queue data contributor. Okay, so let's click on it, go to the next option. Storage queue data contributor, go to the next option, members. Select the members. Whatever you have copied from the Snowflake, that first part, we will be pasting here. Now, if you get that, if you paste, so the same name app will be populated. We'll select it. We'll click on the select option. We'll go to next, and we'll click on the review and assign. So second one also populated here. You can see the storage queue data contributor has been populated here. Okay. Now next thing what I need to do is basically I will go to the basically your storage Snowflake option and will create the file format. Okay, file format is created. Now what I need to do, I need to go to the Azure. Next is event. On the left hand side we have the events option. You know that event notification setup is important because in case of AWS also we set up the event notification. The same way we have to set up the event option here. So to set up the event, what I need to do, we need to click on the event option. We have to click on the plus event subscription. We have to provide the name here. For an example, name I'm writing here Snowflake. Like that, we are taking the name. Here we will be taking event grid schema, and topic name also we need to take like this way. Any name you can choose which is appropriate and which is unique. When you want to get the notification, or when you want to get that event fired, whenever the blob will be created. That means whenever the file will be loaded. Blob created means file will be loaded. Whenever you are loading a file to the container, at that time this notification will fired. I don't want the when the file will be deleted and all renamed. These are all the cases I don't want. I want whenever the file will be loaded. That's the reason only one I chosen file created. Okay. So I want to get the notification whenever the file will be loaded, so that the file can be loaded to the table. That is the reason I chosen this one. After that, you have to choose the endpoint details. So here you have to click, and through which you are loading the data queue. So we'll choose the storage queue. Once we chosen the storage queue, the next what I need to do, I need to click on the endpoint, configure an endpoint. Okay, so let's click on the configure an endpoint. And storage account, whatever storage account you have, that you have to choose. So basically this is the storage account. So that storage account you have to choose here. And whenever you will be choosing the storage account, whatever queue you already have created, that will be populated. So we'll click on the queue and we'll select it. So that queue, whatever queue you have created, that you have to map here. And after that, we'll go for the create option. Okay, there is an error like if you are working with the grid, then these services has to be basically registered. So you can see here, event schema is event grid schema we have chosen. So that is the reason. So we'll do it with the service. So we'll go to the home of again. So whenever you will be getting that error, we have to go to the home. We have to go to the subscription. Okay. Once you go to the subscription, we have to click on the subscription. Okay. The free trial subscription, we have to click on the subscription. Okay. Now you have to come to the downside. Okay. And we'll click on the resource provider. Resource provider. Okay. In the resource provider, we will search the name with grid. You will be getting Microsoft Event Grid. This one is right now not registered. You have to click on it. You have to click on the register button. So it started registering. Let it do. So it is already done. So we'll go to the home again. Now again, we will be going to the basically in the storage account. Sorry, this one is the storage account. We'll go to the storage account. Again, the same way we will be clicking on the event. We'll click on the plus event sign. we'll choose, we'll write the name here. Next, we will be come down. We'll select the blob created. We'll select here the storage queue. You can see it is successfully registered. After that, we'll come down and, sorry, not this one. We'll select the configure an endpoint. We'll choose the storage account here. The queue will be populated. We'll select the queue and we'll click on the select option and we'll go for the create. So now you can see it is getting created. It's created successfully. Let it create. You can see your event got created. Now last step, we will come down and we need to create a stage object. While creating the stage object, what I need, two things. One is URL. Create or replace stage name. URL is equal to Azure:// as I told you. Here you have to write the storage account name, first part, and the last part will be basically your container name. What container we created? Pipe, right? If you go here, the container, what is the container name we created? Pipe. So that pipe container, we will mention the pipe name here. After that, credentials. We need to mention here credentials. So to work with the credentials, what you have to do? Azure SaaS token. You need the Azure SaaS token. What we will do, we will go down in the same storage account. All the options you will be getting in the storage account itself. You need to go anywhere else. So just in the storage account, if you go down, you will be getting shared access signature SaaS. So we'll click on it. We'll allow the services. So only container service object all we selected. After that, we need to come down. That connection string, how long you want to keep it open, that you have to mention here. I just wanted to expire it today itself, so that's the reason I'm not choosing anything. If you want to extend it till the entire this year, you can choose that particular end date here. So within that date, this connection string will be activated. Once the date is over, again you have to create another storage access. Okay, so after that we'll go down, and for both for HTTPS and HTTP, or for HTTPS only. So what type of protocol you want to allow? So I'm just giving it HTTPS, and after that we'll click on the generate SaaS and connection string. So once we click on it, so if you go down, you have the SaaS token created. So just click on this copied, and we'll come here, and in this SaaS token, Azure SaaS token, within the single quotes, we have to mention that entire SaaS token details. Okay, and after that, create the stage object. Done. Once the stage object created, you can write here list@stage object. So you will be getting no files available right now because I didn't load any files over there. Now next, last step, what you need to do, we need to create the basically pipe object. Create or replace pipe name, auto ingest is equal to true. Integration is int_snowpipe as copy into student from the Azure portal. File format this on error is equal to, here I can mention skip file. Let's do it with the skip file. Continue, we did already. And let's create the pipe object. You can see the pipe object also has been created. Now if you check the pipe status, you will be able to see here it is in the running state, right? Now what I will do, I will be checking the table here. You can see the table. You can see no data is there. Now I will be uploading the file over here. So let's go to the container. Go to the pipe. Let's upload. Let's say I'm going down, and let's say I'm loading student file and student v1 file, and let me upload. Let's upload it. So you can see both the file got uploaded here. Once the file has been uploaded, it will be triggered and the data will be loaded into the Snowflake table automatically. If I check the pipe status, you can see pending file count is 2. It is showing 2 file will be loaded. Student.csv already has taken up. If you check the table here, so it is asking for the virtual warehouse to be selected. Let's click on it and see. This is the data has been loaded. So this is the way basically Snowpipe with Azure works. Clear? Any doubt, any question? Okay, fine. So that's all for today's session. We will be having one more last session. There I will show you in the next week. We will be having one more last session. There I will show you ADF, Azure Data Factory integration, and I will show you performance related activity, like if you want to get a best performance in Snowflake, what are all the things we need to follow, that we will check. Or otherwise we already have covered this part in the separate session, but still I'll be accumulated, I'll tell you, and along with that I'll give you some certification trips also. Okay, so I'll show you how to register your certification things, and also these 3 things we will be covering, and we'll end up our sessions. Okay, fine. So you can go through in this weekend, you can go through that what are all the topics we have covered and all. If you have any questions, you can come in the last sessions. Okay, fine. Thanks guys, thanks for joining. Bye bye.
The meeting has ended. Thank you for joining. Goodbye.